lovely young lady. Do y'all see her in this?
She's a business owner.
A business owner. Kiss your brain.
A teacher.
Can be a teacher like Miss Joseph. Very good. I see. Or you could be, who remembers? Say, I can be a social worker.
I can be a social worker.
Yes, a social worker.
Hi everyone, my name is Martinique Brown and I am the owner and founder of Today I Want to Be. We are solving the problem of kids and youth not seeing someone who looks just like them in a variety of career fields. We are a career exploration resource for parents and educators, and through our interactive products and virtual interviews, kids and youth are able to see representation of their race and gender in career fields that they may not even know about. With every product we create, from our educational aids to our apparel and accessories, we are intentional about encouraging and helping kids and youth see that they can become anything they want to be. We are the only company who not only focuses on career exploration for kids and youth, but we also give them an opportunity to ask professionals about their careers every month during our free live virtual interviews as student co-hosts. If you are looking for a company that is dedicated to helping your child or student see that they can become anything they want to be, make sure you visit todayiwanttobe.com today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Today I Want to Be Career Exploration Interview. I'm so excited that you guys have decided to tune into the show today. Today we actually have a NFL coach who is going to be talking to us a lot more about her being a professional coach now. I think the cool thing about talking to Jennifer King is, you know, she's the first Black woman to be a full-time NFL coach. And I just think, man, like, y'all not gonna get no other opportunity to talk to her, so you better jump on this live stream now. So now one of the other great things is we have our student co-host Catherine, who's on the show as well. Now you're not left out. Don't just say to yourself, man, I wish I was on there and I could talk to Jennifer. You can still do that. You can actually post your questions and your comments in the comment field. Now if you're tuning in from any other page other than Martinique Y Brown, or Today I Want to Be Facebook page, or even our YouTube channel, make sure you come over to one of those three platforms, and then I can actually see your question and comment, and I can relay those to Jennifer as well. Now, another great thing about the show is all of Jennifer's contact information is listed in that description box. And if you're interested in purchasing any of the products that Jennifer is featured in, you can still do that because that purchasing link is listed in the description box as well. So, ladies, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You are welcome. You
Thank
are
you for
welcome.
having us.
So now, Jennifer, can you just, and I want to just tell you guys, the reason why I just said generic NFL football coach is because when I first approached Jennifer, she was the offensive assistant football coach. But now she is the assistant running back football coach. So she's going to talk to us about that as well. So Jennifer, can you just tell the viewers just a little bit more about yourself and how long you were an offensive assistant football coach, and now how long have you been the assistant running back football coach?
Yeah, it's been quite a journey for me. I'm from North Carolina, grew up loving sports, and ended up playing basketball and softball in college. And from there, ended up coaching college basketball. So I coached college basketball for 9 years. But during that time, I was playing football and just really loved football, and started getting some opportunities to coach at lower levels, and became a head coach. And when I became a head coach, my office was literally right beside the Carolina Panthers practice field. So I was so close, and I found a way to start building a relationship with Coach Rivera. And from there, things kind of took off for me. So I've interned with the Panthers twice. I worked out in Arizona. I worked at Dartmouth College. I was in DC last year working with Washington as offensive assistant, as you mentioned. And then I got promoted in the offseason. So now I'm assistant running backs coach.
So now, are you saying that what sport were you coaching when you were right next door to the Panthers office?
Yeah, I was coaching basketball at the time. So I grew up playing all sports, but I ended up coaching college basketball.
Oh, okay. And then you just shimmied your way into that is so good. So now, Catherine, can you tell our viewers what grade you're in and what you're interested in becoming when you grow up?
I'm in 11th grade and I'm interested in becoming a computer software engineer.
Nice. So now we're going to start with you, Catherine. You can go ahead with your first question.
So first, I want to know, what is a day in your life as a football coach?
Yeah, our days are really long, really busy. We've been on vacation for about a month. We get started this coming week. So typically my day starts around 6 a.m. or so,
Oh, wow.
Sometimes earlier than that. And I may not leave the office until 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. Or last year, I think 11:15 was the latest that I got out of there. But so much preparation goes into being good on Sunday. So it's not just you just see us playing on Sunday, you see the game, but that it's so much more goes into it to try to be successful and to make sure everyone's prepared to play and able to play their best.
Yeah. So now, why do you think that there's benefit in young girls considering being coaches of men at a professional level?
Yeah, I think, the coaching profession as a whole is just a beautiful thing to me. It kept me around sport. But, when you look at lower levels, when you look even in the professional levels, there's so many men that coach women. But yet there's not a lot of women that coach men. And I think, those things are changing somewhat, but it's still a lot of work to do. And it's important for kids to know that, if you're a young woman and you want to coach a men's sport, that you can do that. And if you want to coach a women's sport, that's fine too. But I think it's so important not to limit yourself and just kind of put yourself in that box of just coaching women if you don't want to.
What do you think is the intimidating side of it, though, that females may be hesitant when it comes to taking that initiative to try to coach males?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it's kind of just society, how we're raised, how we're brought up, that men are stronger than women, and things like that. So I think as societal norms has changed, I think more women are now getting opportunities to coach men, and it's really cool to do. And I've coached both. So I've seen
Yeah.
both sides of it. And at the end of the day, coaching is coaching. It's not a lot of difference between my professional male athletes versus the women I coached who are in college.
Catherine, go ahead with your next question.
So I want to know, how do you encourage your team?
Yeah, I try to encourage them a lot. We have really good relationships, so we talk and we laugh and joke a lot, and that's part of the way I motivate them. It's just because I know them well because we talk on a personal level, so I'm able to motivate them because I know them very well. And each player is different. It takes different things to motivate each person, but having an idea of their personality to know what they need to get motivated is big for me. But the guys I get to work with every day, they're some of the best in the world at what they do. So, we really want to motivate them and let them know that, in case they get down or feeling, bad about themselves or they have a bad game, it's important for them to mentally prepare to be able to bounce back. And we do that through motivation and just looking for the next game.
That's good. That's good. So now, what do you feel are some of the challenges that you face um, just being the first Black female full-time coach in the NFL?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think I've been extremely fortunate that I haven't had the typical challenges, I guess, that people would assume. Like I've been fortunate to work with a great group of men. They've been very welcoming. Everywhere I've been, I've had a great relationship with all of the coaches and the players. So, I think the biggest challenges I've had is just, coaching football at a very high level. So always learning, always growing. To be the best coach that I can be is the biggest challenge. And I was coaching football for a while, so it's not like I just popped up in the NFL. I did a lot before that, but the learning curve is still big at the professional level. So you really have to know what you're doing and continue to learn, continue to grow. That's the message I always say to people is never get comfortable, and no matter how good you are, you can always be better.
Okay, Catherine, go ahead with your next question.
How do you evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of your players and yourself?
Oh, that's a good. Come on,
It is.
Catherine.
Yeah. We have several evaluation processes that we use for our players. Obviously, we have film. We watch a lot of game tape, practice tape, and then we have meetings every day with them, 2 or 3 times a day. So we have a way to evaluate them there. Sometimes we challenge them. We'll give them small tests just to see what they know and how they can learn our offense. But as far as myself, it's one of those things. I'm always evaluating other people around me and always trying to find a way to make the team better. Maybe something that we don't have, I want to provide. And that's ultimately how I became, I guess, essential when I was in Carolina, is that I always was looking for things to do. I wasn't just there, because I was happy being in the NFL. That was never the thing for me. I always wanted to be valuable, and find things to make myself valuable. And that's something that I continue to do now. So anything and everything that I can do to make us better and to help us win, I'm willing to do.
So how do you keep yourself motivated though to challenge yourself to continue to take your team and yourself to the next level?
Yeah, I think the coaching business kind of does that for you. It's a tough business, and if you're not getting the job done, they'll bring someone in that will. And it's very
Yeah.
blunt. It's a tough business, and people get fired all the time or leave their jobs. But I think that alone keeps me motivated, and it's not something that I fear, but it's just I always want to get better, I always want to grow and be valuable. So even if I have to move on to another situation, I'm prepared to jump right in there as well.
That's good. That's good. So, Catherine, you can go ahead with your next question.
So how do you work with other coaches?
Yeah, that's a good question as well. A lot of people don't realize how many coaches we have on the NFL staff. I'm not sure of our exact number, but I know it's probably around 25 when you think of
Wow.
when you think of all the coaches, and then our strength coaches, and we have a nutritionist, and like all of those people go into the coaching staff for an NFL team. So it's really important to have good relationships with those guys because we work really close together. We're always meeting together and we're always communicating, and it's important to be able to talk and chat with each other about things that we may see. So It's been great to have a great relationship with those guys. And it's so important to be able to work with others, the people around you. And, we come from all different backgrounds. We all look different, and we're different ages on our staff, but you have to find a way to work together and get along. And we do a really good job doing that.
So what does the makeup of your of the coaching staff look like? And the reason why I'm asking you that is because maybe there's a female that's tuning in that maybe doesn't want to be a coach, but I like how you mentioned the nutritionist. There's different aspects of a team that there could be. So are you the only female in that staffing circle?
Yeah, on the coaching side, I'm the only coach. We do have two females who work in operations. Operations kind of makes the show go. So like when we travel, they take care of everything. So, us on the coaching side, we just get on the bus or get on the plane. We don't have to do anything, but they handle all of those things for us. But yeah, our staff is made up. I think we have 5 strength coaches. So they work with our guys in the weight room to get bigger and faster and stronger. And then we have our nutritionist, who's also one of the strength coaches. And then as far as the football makeup, each position has essentially a head position coach and then someone who assists them as well. So you think of all the positions in football, that adds up quickly when you're doubling that essentially on the offense and defensive side of the ball. And, like you talked about different jobs, we have player personnel guys who essentially, they help the guys off the field, any program, all the programs that we have for money management and, financial literacy. And things. Yeah, they set those things up. So we have 2 guys that do that, and anything that they need, if they may come to the team and they need somewhere to stay, they can help them get set up with an apartment or a house and just things like that. And on the business side, there are so many jobs and opportunities for people. So it's important to know, as you mentioned, there's so many jobs in sports or in football that's not directly coaching football. So if you love football, you have a passion for football, there's probably a job for you that you would enjoy.
So, what is one thing that you wish someone would have told you before becoming a coach? And this can be, collegiate level or professional.
Yeah, probably the hours that we work, Even when I was coaching basketball, the hours were long, but, as a player, we come to practice, we practice and we leave, or, we're there a couple hours a day. But then I realized that the coach is there all day plus some. So definitely, be prepared to work really long hours, be prepared to miss holidays, birthdays, things like that because of our schedule. So, I think it's important the higher you go, the better chance you're going to start missing some of those things with your family.
Okay. And last question from me before we get to Catherine's question. What made you think that you could be an NFL coach if you've never seen someone of your gender or race do it before?
That's a great question. For me, it was a love for football. And I think, growing up, my parents really encouraged me to do new things and try new things. So they really always encouraged me. And there was never like a ceiling on what I could do when I was growing up. They allowed me to play as many sports as I wanted and be in different clubs and things like that. So I was kind of well-rounded. And then once I started getting into football, I saw that the movie Hidden Figures, which was just one of my favorite movies, and essentially, the Black females who helped NASA get to space and to the moon. And, after seeing that, it was incredible. And I just kind of felt like I was put here to do a little more. And then I found out I was related to one of them. And it just, I don't know, it kind of lit a fire under me to do more and just, don't be afraid to essentially do what I can't see anyone like me doing. So after that, I just started putting things in place and preparing myself for the opportunity. And when I got the opportunity, I was ready.
That's good. And I really like that you mentioned the whole preparation side of it, and I think that that's something that we desire to have become, be at this next level, but like, are you really prepared to be at that next level? So Catherine, what's your next question?
So I wanted to know, what do you think was the highlight of your career so far?
Yeah, man, I've been blessed to have quite a few highlights. I think obviously my promotion was big just because of it was history being the first. But I won a national championship when I was coaching college basketball, and I think that was probably one of my favorite moments, just because when I first got there, the team wasn't very good, and within 2 years, we were national champions. So that was very special for me, and they believed in the message that I had, and we believed in each other, and we were able to achieve something really great.
Yeah. So now let me ask you this. I know that, you know, with you first getting that opportunity, because you were interning with the Carolina Panthers first, and then you start working with Washington football team. Is it really just a matter of building relationships? Or I know that when we go down to the bottom of the page, we won't just see careers and then football coach.
Yeah.
But what does that realistically look like? Or how did it look like for you to get like just in that door?
Yeah, my path in sports was no different than a lot of people, and it essentially starts with knowing people and being able to get opportunities. My first college basketball job was with someone that I knew from
Okay.
when I was a kid, and then obviously my first football job came the same way. So it's so important to speak to people and build relationships, and you never know who's going to help you or who you're going to help in the future. But relationships. Helped me get to where I am essentially. And then once I got that opportunity, it was up to me to be able to do the job. And, fortunately I was able to do that.
And can you talk to our girls about, or our students in general that's watching, about that boldness, just being assertive and maybe even just letting them know, okay, I'm interested in becoming an assistant football coach, or, because everything doesn't fall in your lap. And so can you talk to us about how you maintain that assertive characteristic?
Yeah, I mean, simply put, if you want to do something, you have to go get it. The chances of it falling in your lap are extremely small. So sometimes you may have to go somewhere you don't want to go, or speak to someone you don't want to speak to in order to do things that you want to do. And I think in the background, you should always be working and preparing yourself for those moments to get your chance, because you may only get one shot, and it's up to you to knock it out of the park. So it's so important to build relationships and to grow your craft, so when you get an opportunity, you're prepared. So even if someone telling you that you can't do it, even if sometimes you may not believe you can do it, it's important to have that confidence in yourself and be willing to bet on yourself and know that you're strong and know that you're able to do these things. And it's okay, if people laugh at you. I had a guy once tell me, if people don't laugh at your dreams, they're probably not big enough. So it's important to have that personal belief in yourself and be willing to bet on yourself.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. So Catherine, what's your next question?
So I wanted to know, what would you like to say to the younger people, like me and other students, or even adults who might want to pursue a career? What would you say to them to inspire them?
Yeah, I've touched on it some, but I think it is so important to continue to grow and determine what you want to do. And sometimes what you may want to do is not the popular choice, or, as I just mentioned, sometimes people may say that you can't do it. But it's so important if you have a goal, if you have a dream, if you have ambitions of doing something, no matter how young or old you are, I think it's important to start putting things in place to get there. And as you work to create opportunities, make sure you're getting prepared, because so many times people want things and maybe they get it faster than they expected, or they get an opportunity and they're not prepared for it. So whatever you want, whatever your goal is, it's so important to be prepared for it. So when you get that opportunity, you can do a really good job.
So if a parent thinks that their child would enjoy being a sports coach, where do you recommend that they start to get them on that career path?
Yeah, I think, so many athletes who become coaches, they've played the sport. And then I was able to play tackle football for 12 seasons as well. But, if they're a child that's interested in the sport, maybe they like to play it. They like basketball, they like football, allow them an opportunity to play. And even if they don't want to, but they still have a love for the sport, maybe they can help the coaches, just to be around and to start learning and start growing. Because I was fortunate to be around football from a very young age. So, I already knew the basics of the game. And then, by the time I was a teenager, I was starting to learn, in-depth things and get to a more advanced level, and just it kind of took off from there. But, if you have someone who's interested in sports and coaching, find a way to get them involved any way you can.
So now I know that Catherine asked you the question, what would you say to a young person that wants to, um, pursue that career path? But what would you actually what would you actually say to little Jennifer?
I think the biggest thing there was just to go ahead and do it, even if no one looks like you. It took forever for me to get into football at a high level, just because there was no one that looked like me. So I think it's important for little me to know that it's okay to be the first. So that's what I would always tell her.
Yeah. So go ahead with your next question, Catherine. Catherine, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Go ahead with your next question.
I want to know, what was the biggest thing that motivates you? Like every day, what pushed you
Mhm.
throughout your entire career?
Yeah, for me, I grew up a big Michael Jordan fan, and then became a big Kobe fan. And, both of those guys had a certain mentality about them that made them really good. And, I developed that at a young age, sometimes a little too much, probably a little too competitive, but that effort that they gave and showed every single day, to try to be their best self, is something that motivates me. So every single day you should try to be your best self and try to win the day.
Yeah, and I like something that our viewers may not know is with the products, all of the professionals actually wrote, you know, um, words of affirmation and things like that, and words of encouragement. And one of the things that you wrote was um, become so good that you can't be denied. And I just thought that that is so encouraging. Regardless of what people may think about you, if you're the best, then people are going to be like, but we gotta hire her. I mean,
Yeah.
So like, what does that statement mean to you though?
Yeah, that was actually something that I kind of came up with as a personal, mantra or saying to myself after watching Hidden Figures, because,
Mhm.
this is obviously in the time where, Black people weren't getting opportunities, and then Black women at that, were not getting any opportunities. They had to earn everything that they got. And essentially they were so good that NASA couldn't turn them away. They needed them to do what they wanted to do. So that's where that came from. And it's something that I've kind of lived by ever since then.
Mhm, mhm. So now, why did you want to be a part of the Today I Want to Be product?
Yeah, I think it's an exciting opportunity to be able to reach our younger generation. You
Mhm,
never know if the next up and coming female football coach is here. So
mhm.
anytime I can share words of wisdom or kind of share my story, share my path to get here, I think it's very cool to do. So I'm thankful you reached out to me and we were able to connect for to do it.
Definitely, definitely, and I definitely appreciate you for doing it. So, what is next for you? I know that you talk about goals and having goals. So, are you satisfied with just being the assistant running back coach, or do you see yourself at what next?
Yeah, I mean, for now, I am. We have a saying. Our coach always talks to our players about being where their feet are, and essentially, it's just being locked in to whatever you're doing. So no matter what task you're working on at that moment, be locked in on that task, and that's something that I'm doing right now. Is just to be the best assistant running backs coach, because I know from being a coach for so long, you
Mhm.
get your next opportunity by doing a really good job where you are. You don't get that opportunity by looking ahead to the next job. So
That's good.
yeah, so I'm locked in to help our running backs be the best backs in the league, and we're about to get started, so we'll see what happens this season.
Now, my last question to you is talk to our viewers about starting from maybe the bottom, maybe a job that you don't want to be in, but having that vision for yourself about where you want to go and doing your best where you're at and looking ahead as well.
Yeah, I mean, to go back on my story, when I first became a college basketball coach, I was part-time. So I was having to do other jobs to support myself. So I was doing things sometimes that I didn't want to do to be able to do what I wanted to do. And I think
Mhm.
my vision was clear enough that I knew, I wasn't gonna work in sales my whole life. I was going to be a coach, but I needed to work in sales at the moment to do that. So I think it's, don't be discouraged by the path that you may have, because everyone's path is their own. So, everyone wants to start their path and it's a straight line, but we all know there's many hills and valleys and curves and sometimes cliffs before you get to where you want to go. So stay encouraged and just keep working.
Definitely. Well, again, I thank you, Jennifer, so much for taking time to just be a part of the Today I Want to Be products, as well as allowing us to ask you so many more questions about being a professional coach and allowing us to have just a better understanding of what your life looks like as well. And I thank you, Catherine, for taking time also for to interview. I want to call you Coach King. Coach
That's
King. I
fine.
feel like I want to, but for interviewing Jennifer as well. And I thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Today I Want to Be, our career exploration interview. Make sure you continue to share this video so that more of our students and our youth are, just have a better understanding of what the life of a coach looks like, and to really just encourage them to go out and pursue this career and learn more about it. Again, if you're interested in purchasing any of our products, make sure you go to that description box, and right there next to that little cart, you will be able to see the purchasing link. And if you're interested in staying connected with Jennifer as well, her social media handles are listed in that description box. We definitely hope that you guys have a great remainder of the night, and we will talk to you all later. Bye-bye.